Why do high achieving women fall for potential? The truth is, potential has wasted a lot of high achieving women's time. So how does this happen? Number one is you're used to seeing potential as a strength in other areas. Let's say, for example, in career, right? If you're able to identify someone's strength, that's a really good thing when it comes to business, when it comes to career. But when it comes to a romantic relationship and you are, hedging your bets on potential, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Because in dating, when you're focused on someone's potential, it can be an expensive price to pay, because more often than not, what you'll notice is that, especially when it comes to potential, is it never comes to fruition, at least not as long as you're willing to stay there. Why else do high achieving women keep falling for potential? Number two is they believe that potential is the same thing as having the capacity to do it, and it's not. So let's look into it, right? Somebody can have potential and all you see is what they could be. So in other words, you're having a relationship with something that doesn't exist. It's almost like you're having a relationship with the fantasy and this invisible idea of who he could be. That's a big problem because he hasn't demonstrated capacity to do the thing. And when it comes to dating, again, if you don't want to be, and you probably have seen this, right? Where, you just believed in somebody's potential and you wasted your time, or you believed in their potential and they burnt you out so much that by the time you were done building them up, you were so exhausted, feeling used, and this kind of like, okay, he went on about his business. It's almost like you gave him oxygen, you lost oxygen, he thrived, and he went on, because by the time he was probably done, the version of you that was left was probably not something that he wanted. As crazy as that sounds, if there's one thing that will drive a woman crazy, is what I just said right now, is believing in somebody, build them up, right, help them out, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And so this is the problem with mixing up capacity and someone having the capacity to actually do something and you see it and is it a reality, versus focusing on potential, what could be. Remember, what could be does not exist. What could be is invisible. What could be is fantasy, especially when it comes to a romantic relationship, right? And also, as a high achieving woman, right, you have evidence of kind of the lifestyle that you've created. You have evidence of what you're able to do. Are there some blind spots that you have when it comes to dating that allows you to attract these types of men who are projects, who are, build-a-bears and people you have to build up? 1000%. That's something that we can look into for sure. But in the meantime, one thing I want you to be clear about is potential and capacity are not the same. Okay. Number three is women tend to bond with the future version of the man. Very similar to what I already shared, but this one is a little bit more subtle, right? The bonding that you're doing right now, right, is not with who he is, not with the inconsistencies, not with the readiness, none of those things, right? You're bonding with a version that you've created in your mind. So when you see him, you don't see him for who he really is. You see him for who he could become. Now, I know that sounds like such a good thing, and I get that. Let me just be clear, right? Let's have a conversation, right? Like, I get how that sounds like just the right thing to do, the right godly thing to do, the right Christian thing to do, the right human being thing to do is to see somebody's potential and just believe in them. When it comes to a romantic relationship, that is actually not the same, because here's what's gonna happen, right? If you don't bond and pair with the person that you genuinely want, even if you believe in somebody's potential, if your goal is to forever fix him and make sure that he meets those potentials and everything, you're not liking him for who he is, and he's going to feel that. So it becomes problematic down the road because you think you're doing a good thing. No, they will eventually resent you. They will eventually be tired of you. They will eventually get, just be annoyed by it all, because it's like, why can't you accept me for who I am? Meanwhile, you're thinking you're doing a good thing. Like, I just believe in you. I believe I can see more. And it's like, you're in other words, especially high achieving women, you tend to want to put, men together and make them into the person that you want them to be. Here's the other thing. This is going to be a little hot and spicy, but bear with me, okay? Another part of that is also the type of man that already comes ready, already has the capacity, already has the results, already comes stacked with everything that he needs to become stacked with, like all the things that he needs to come to the table with. You tend to not get along with those types of men because deep down inside, I'm not saying that you have it consciously, this might be subconscious, on a subconscious level, you means you're not aware of this, is those types of men also intimidate you because you think you're not good enough for them. But the build-a-bears and the potentials, you feel like, well, I'm good enough. This is the only place when you're dealing with this kind of man you feel good enough for. And so when you feel good enough for them, then you're like, you know what? All I have to do, again, this is more work. All I have to do is get him to be where I need him to be, and we will be great. That's a project that you're taking on and a big risk that you're taking on, okay? Because you're used to doing projects at work. You're used to doing projects in corporate. You're used to doing projects in a business. You're used to creating things and making it happen. The only problem in romantic relationship, you should not, okay, is not recommended to be creating a man. You should be attracting the type of man you want, dating the kind of man you want, but not trying to create the type of man that you want. I want you to see the difference there, okay? All right, so the last one, right? Number 4 is potential keeps you in that pain longer. Potential keeps you in that pain longer. Because of the hope that you have, right, in him, right? You stay in a relationship that's inconsistent, not predictable, unclear, and quite frankly, it's unsatisfying because you're always at work. After you finish doing your 9 to 5 or whatever work you have, whether you run a business, you are, executive, whatever you do after work, you come home, you still have another job to do. Your job is not finished. This is why a lot of women who date these types of men with potential, you are always almost chronically exhausted, chronically burnt out. You are almost always tired. Even when you go on vacation, you are already tired. Chances are you planned the vacation, paid for the vacation, did everything. You're chronically tired, chronically burnt out. This is why when these types of relationships don't work, you are pissed. You are mad and quite frankly so disappointed that you just literally don't want to deal with anybody else because you put so much time, so much energy, so much heart into it. And you thought if I could just love him up and love him and build him up, he will be loyal to me. And when you don't see that, that's really painful and that really hurts. So what you get to do, right? The good news that what you get to do and what you're invited to do is don't date what you're projecting him to be, right? Don't date a gamble, right? Date what you see. Date the capacity that he has right now. If you were to marry him right now, would you be a happy woman for the rest of your life? That is the question and the shift that you have to begin to make, right? So he could be charming and make you laugh and all, but does he have, right? So like chemistry, he's charming. Does he have the capacity to get the job done? Consistency, readiness for a life, to be a husband, for family, consistency in the things that you need, consistency in production, provision, protection, and all those things, right? If he's not there, it's okay. It's okay. But that's the kind of things that you need to look for. So moving forward, do not attach yourself to potential. Date who you see in front of you. Is he ready right now? Yes, keep going. If he's not, don't move forward. And I have a free PDF guide for you. It's called the door method, right? And the door method is how to filter men properly. It's 10 doors every man has to go through in order for you to meet and marry the right man the first time. And so this filtering door is going to help you filter for this kind of thing that I'm talking about, but for potential. Door number 10, just to give you like a heads up, is sleeping with the man. Door number 8 is falling in love. Between those doors, there's doors. Between those doors, there's doors number 1 through 5. There's door number 6. There's door number 7. Then you get to 8, which I talked about, is falling in love. Then 9, then 10 is sleeping with a. So there is actually checkpoints and a vetting system that I designed. It's called the Door Method Mini Guide. Over 700 women have downloaded it. And I keep getting emails saying, thank you, Queenette, for this vetting system. I literally wish I had this in my 20s. Thank you, Queenette. Like, I wish I had this before my last breakup. And then I saved the woman from getting into the wrong engagement. She almost got engaged to a man, and thankfully, this came out just in time for her to see it. She had the man at door 7, and he was really at door number 4. And after going through the process, she was like, wow, I was already about to make because that would have been her second marriage. I was about to make the same mistake again until you gave me the door method. She thanked me for profusely because of that. And so I don't say this lightly when I say go to the description, click the link, download the door method. It's a mini guide. It's 4 pages, 4 of the most potent pages you'll read about how to filter and discern for men. And it's not about the 30-day, 90-day tricks and things like that don't work. I have a behavioral science background. And so what I created was pattern recognition in a way that a woman can understand it, because men and women are different. So when men are telling women, do this, it's like, we don't think like that. So what I did was, and it took me a while to really create something good. Again, 700 plus women have downloaded it, and they're like so grateful. The emails I get emails almost every every day around this, around the door method. And it's always thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the other part is, I wish, couldn't you have created this like 10 years ago? Right? And so I always, those emails just fill my heart, because it just means that you're using something that can actually help you today, not tomorrow, today. And once you download it, you'll be on my email list, and you'll also get emails about how to use it, about vetting your ex, about if you're not dating right now, okay, what did this, put your ex through it, put your other few boyfriends through it. And you're going to see like, oh my goodness, the epiphany, the wisdom. That's what I want you to get from it, is the wisdom of learning how to date, discerning, and all those things. So therefore, you don't have to deal with potentials anymore, because you will already be able to say and look and say, well, based on number 3, our values are not even aligned. Like, we can't move forward. And so that just lets you know, like, I'm not crazy. You don't gaslight yourself. You have something tangible to actually work with. Okay. So run, don't walk, download the door method while it is still free. Okay. Because I don't know when you're listening to this. If you're listening to this right now, you click on it, it's still free. Enter your name and email, and it will be sent directly to your inbox. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye.